infrastructure on the way. There's magic, basically. So this is an iBeacon. So we're an iPhone country. This country is dominated by Apple iPhones. So you'll probably see iBeacon rather than RFID or a Bluetooth LED, but it's all the same technology. It's all magic. And what it means is that you can do this by plugging things into the wall rather than by having a big server system and kind of geolocation stuff and GPS-y things and having to have the device, having to own all these devices. You can start to, and this is exactly what whose house is it? Ruben's house. This is exactly what Ruben's house have done. It's just an example. It's worth going and looking at. There are other ones around. But it's this idea that basically you bring your device and you put the app on your device, and then as you move around, it guides you because it's a website, basically, and the website is feeding information based on where you are because it's listening for its little magic thing touched against the wall, and it knows you're actually looking at this particular portrait or you're in this particular room, and therefore it can give you information that relates to that particular room. And obviously, because it's your device and you're on the internet, it's very easy for it to store and share through your social networks. It becomes your experience. And when they need to update it, they're updating an app, they're updating some software on the internet, not a whole device. And this is about the lightness of open frameworks. And I'm very big on platforms that allow people to do things rather than experiences. It's another whole different talk. It's very important not to focus on something which can't scale, cannot be done again, cannot actually work with other people. This is the Serengeti lion. There's this extraordinary kind of new form of content coming out, this slightly immersive journalism. I spent an hour learning about lions, not because I wanted to learn about lions, but because someone said it was a cool website, and I went there and I spent an hour learning about lions. That shouldn't happen. I am a busy person with children. I don't have time. But the New York Times and National Geographic particularly are doing fascinating kind of redefining how we engage with content. This is a project called DevArt, which is my colleagues in the UK working with the Barbican, basically to take over a quarter of an exhibition about digital by Conrad Borden, and I can't remember the title of the exhibition. But this particular section of it was called DevArt, and they brought in 3 developer artists who are self-identifying, practicing artists with provenance. And I actually have some interesting issues with whether or not it's appropriate or not. They sort of open-sourced the 4th plinth of this set. So they ran a competition for developer artists to propose work. And I think hopefully, Jess and Kate will go at each other later on about this idea about where this is appropriate, where this kind of user-generated artist kind of fits into self-identifying practice. But this is a really good example of that, because we actually did have lots and lots of entries